You guys have probably already heard, but Sonos are finally releasing the Era 300 speaker on the 28th of March. Previously on the channel, we have reviewed it and put it up against its counterpart, the Sonos Era 100. However, in this video, we are going to see how well it compares against its popular competitor, the Apple HomePod 2. Before we get into it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into it. Number 1. Pricing. That's right, first up we are going to see how well both speakers are priced and their value for money. Apple is not known for producing exceptionally affordable tech, so you may be surprised to hear that the HomePod 2 is the cheaper option when compared to the Era 300. The HomePod 2 is currently available to purchase for $299, whereas the Sonos Era 300 is set to be priced at $449. That is an almost $200 increase, which in the grand scheme of things is a lot of money for a speaker. However, what most don't realize is that some features on the Era 300 make it a lot more appealing regardless of its higher cost. The main difference to note is the Sonos Era 300's compatibility and accessibility with a range of devices and platforms. Number 2. Accessibility. The Sonos Era 300 can be paired to Android and iOS devices via a Bluetooth connection. Having Bluetooth means users can connect and stream to the Era 300 without needing to download apps or connect to Wi-Fi, making it an ideal speaker to use at any larger parties or gatherings. The HomePod 2 does not support Bluetooth for pairing or connecting to other devices running iOS, iPadOS, or macOS. As a result, the HomePod 2 is unavailable to anybody who possesses an Android handset, making it less inclusive than the Era 300. Of course, if you're already part of an Apple ecosystem, then the HomePod makes sense, but from a general perspective, it doesn't cater for non-Apple users. The Sonos 300 caters for all operating systems and is extremely easy to set up and use. All you need is a phone with the Sonos app downloaded, and it can literally be set up in a few minutes. The Apple HomePod has a similar setup process, but good luck if you haven't already got an iPhone. Theoretically, Android users can connect to the HomePod 2, but the support will be less secure, and we would not advocate downloading new third-party applications. So basically, it can be connected to an Android phone, but there is a high risk associated with it. In conclusion, it sounds like the Sonos Era 300 is the better of the two in this department. Number 3. Dolby Atmos and other features. Introduced in 2012, Dolby Atmos expands 5.1 and 7.1 setups to include speakers placed around the room to create an all-enveloping 3D sound experience. Sound designers don't have to confine the sound to a single channel when using Dolby Atmos. They can tell the Atmos system where a sound comes from and where it goes, and it will interpret that data and play it back in a simulated 3D world. As a result, sound appears to come from within the room you're seated in. Raindrops may be heard falling, while helicopters can be heard flying over you. It's cool. Both the Sonos Era 300 and the Apple HomePod 2 support Dolby Atmos spatial audio. The Era 300 can stream Dolby Atmos via a service such as Amazon Music. The HomePod 2 supports Atmos for both music and video via its spatial audio format, which is effectively Atmos but designed to operate with iOS devices. Using the Sonos line and adapter, which is offered separately, the Sonos Era 300 may be connected to a turntable or other music source. This might make the Era 300 more enticing to individuals who want to use their turntables or other music equipment. With the VictroLastream Carbon approved to connect with Sonos devices, it may be utilized with a wireless turntable. Furthermore, the Era 300 can be coupled with another Sonos Era 300 in a home cinema setup with a soundbar to provide consumers with a more immersive experience with spatial audio and Dolby Atmos compatibility. Because the HomePod 2 lacks inputs, it cannot be directly linked to a record player or turntable. It can be linked to another to form a stereo pair, although it should be noted that the HomePod 2 cannot be linked to a HomePod Mini. Anyway, that's all from us today, guys, on the Sonos Era 300 and the Apple HomePod 2. Let us know in the comments below what you think is better, and please be sure to like and subscribe.